Okay, so now we are live. Yes. Okay, so we're
Okay.
live with collaborative conversation with Mr. Kendrick McMillian. I am Latricia Penny. I am excited for my guest this evening. Um, yeah, knowing you for a minute now. I think it's it's,
Well,
it's, it's
it's
been
been
a
a
while.
while.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I am excited to hear about all of the things that have happened since we first met, because I know that was more um, definitely tragic oriented. Um,
Hmm.
um, just to see how you and Neva have grown through and have been advocates for so many people about how to move through things, and not that it's ever easy. And
Right.
and life has its challenges, and I'm like just shocked because like here you are speaking with me this evening, and I know you to be more shy, so
Yeah, I am, but part of it is getting out of your comfort zone. That's the only way you can excel. So, I mean, I'm gonna have to do it one day, so might as well start doing it now.
okay. And we are grateful for this being the the kickoff, and happy belated birthday, because I know that just
Thank you.
happened. Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
so yeah, for this new year we're calling in all the good stuff. So
Yeah.
for those who are listening or who will watch later, let's go ahead and get started. Tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay. My name is Kendrick McMillian. I want to start off by saying I'm a husband. I'm a father. I own a construction business. I'm an author, and what else? I'm a brand ambassador.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm also a homeschool teacher. I can't forget that I'm a homeschool teacher. So
Okay.
I have a lot of hats, but I manage.
Okay. I mean, that is quite a few hats. And so how have all of the things, because it's like, okay, so the brand ambassador, I know
Mhm.
husband and father, but brand ambassador, entrepreneur, all of
Mhm.
these other things, and being a teacher. How do you like kind of move through your day with all of those things being, hats that you wear daily?
I actually have a schedule that I wrote out, and it kind of
Mhm.
changes daily based on what's coming up for that next day. But I look at it the night before to see what I need to do for the following day,
Uh-huh.
and I go by that basically when planning out my days. So
Okay.
sometimes, it might not be required for me to work with the brand, but that means I can spend more time doing homeschooling or anything else like that. So
Hmm.
I make it work.
Okay. And how has your homeschooling journey been? Because
It's been
that's been
interesting. It's been interesting. It's really fun, and it kind of teaches me. Well, I'm kind of learning along with her,
uh-huh.
um, like how to go about doing this because we are all doing this together, and it's all new to us. Well, we homeschooled her a long time ago, but then we got back up, so
Uh-huh.
it's new at this age, but it's not new, as a family.
Uh-huh. Nice. We
Um,
had I just want to say Girl Child TV joined, and Neva, My Path to Peace 123 has joined. Hey y'all, and hello.
that's
So
my family. That's who I speak of right there. That's Neva and Naima.
okay, nice. Welcome. Yeah, so what made you decide? Because if people have been on the fence about homeschooling, what would you say that the second time around that you've been learning or experiencing with homeschooling?
Patience for one, because when you stay home, well, for me anyway, when I stay home, I find a lot of things to do because I kind of can't sit still,
Uh
and I
huh.
feel like I'm being productive if I'm not doing something. So it's teaching me patience because my time is required. Like she wants me there to show her the math, and I have to walk her through problems. And if she have questions, I have to be available. So I learned to have patience um, and just be there, be present, like not
Oh,
just there, but thinking about other things that you need to be doing, but
uh-huh.
actually being present and in the moment.
Nice. And I'm gonna just make a little bit of a comment that it's okay to rest or slow down, or you don't have to like be, just because you're active, it's also
Mhm.
productive to be still, because I think we get some of our kind of like our messages, or just that we allow our brain to sit still and relax, or our body to sit still and relax, and it's not viewed as like
Mhm.
unproductivity. I think, we all were kind of raised that if you ain't moving, like if you ain't, grinding all out,
Right,
or if you're not doing everything from sun up to sundown, that you ain't hustling hard or whatever, like all of that stuff.
right.
Um,
Hmm.
I don't, yeah, it has not served us well. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it served us too good.
That's correct.
Yeah. So, so
Yeah.
now, and just with your awareness about being able to be present in that, because I think a lot of people end up missing that because they feel like because they're there, or like you said, if you're, doing the problems or what have you, but you're still thinking about other stuff. I don't
Hmm.
know if people are even aware of how often that happens. And it does take a lot to just kind of be in the moment and be present.
Yeah, it actually took some time for me to get to that point because even when we first started, uh, like I would like give her some problems, and
Uh-huh.
then I would walk away and work on some business stuff and come back and ask whether she have any questions and stuff. So it was,
Uh-huh.
I mean, I thought I was being, but really it was taken away. Either I wasn't spending the full time with her, or I wasn't
Right.
spending the full time with the business. So that's why I try to manage my schedule to where, okay, between this slot, we're gonna work on this, and this is all I'm gonna work on. So you have my full attention during this time.
Okay.
So it's been working out. And then if we have to make any changes, yeah, I'll rearrange my schedule.
Okay. Nice. So if you were a book, what would the title of your book be and why?
It will be, and I'm biased by saying this, but it would be The Man Cave, What Men Don't Talk About. And of course, I'm saying that because that's my book. Uh,
Listen, see, I got my little plug right here.
yeah, this is my baby right here. This is my
Uh-huh.
first book, and I'm so proud of myself for doing it. And I just wanted to get the message out there to men and women, because men go through a lot that they don't speak about, and
Right.
I was one of them. So
Mhm.
I talk about it now. Like I feel comfortable talking about problems and issues that I have or what I'm facing on a daily basis with my wife. And Miss Penny, to be honest, you were the person that told me, that got me out of my comfort zone when it comes to speaking about life and my problems and things like that, because I would just hold it in and nobody would know nothing going on. Even Neva, she wouldn't have known anything.
Mhm.
But you know, you just have to talk about it.
Yeah, and that's, I think you all, meaning men, are raised to not talk about it. And it is, Neva said it's such a good read. It absolutely is. I appreciate it, like all of the journey, because there were things, in reading I knew about. Um, oh, thank you, Neva. I knew about some of the stuff, but I didn't realize like how intense the car accident was, on your end. I didn't realize like kind of like all of the things that you had to go through as far as healing and everything else, and just, your hindsight and your insight to how
Mm.
you maneuvered and managed things, and how that's so many, men's story, because you all don't have like that freedom. I think it's like y'all have more the suck it up, you would be okay, blah blah blah. That's kind of your
Mm.
speech. We're just, constantly known as being emotional, so we have a little bit more permission, even though they people don't like it when we are. But I think we have, as
Right.
women, a little bit more permission. But there's so many men, and it's like, I always say y'all had an X and a Y, so come on, let's allow yourself to have some of the feelings, because how can you not?
Yeah. I know
Yeah,
it's cliche, but it's like having a soda bottle and you just shaking it up and it's
yeah,
just all built up with nowhere to go. That's how I felt. Of course, I don't feel that way anymore, but that's how
yeah,
it usually is. It was during those times.
yeah.
But you just
I
need to
especially,
release it. Just talk to
yeah.
someone about it, someone that you trust.
So what are some other things besides the book are you doing as far as assisting with that, or do you have do stuff on the platform? And we have Xavier Black, and he said we've been programmed to hold our feelings close. So that's one of my friends.
Mhm.
And it's true, it's true,
Mhm.
for men that you all are taught more, that's what I was saying, like that whole thing. And with you, with the book, like I said, it's a very easy, insightful, like you had the insight, the hindsight, and just like
Mhm.
the supportive way that your book reads. It's just like, you know even with everything looking to be great, we still go through our stuff as people.
Right. Right.
Because I think your background with both of your parents, and being very
Mhm.
supported, and your work ethic and everything started very early. But you still did what you did. Like you still have
Yeah.
these other. I don't know if it was peer pressure when you were younger, or just
Yeah.
some of the
Yeah. Like,
in the. Go ahead.
mm, I had a good childhood, but I caused some issues myself. Like in the book, you see about my drinking and things like that, like things that I went through. But the drinking stemmed from other problems that I have. But so now instead of that problem, I have a drinking problem also. So it
Right.
just kept getting worse and worse because the drinking led to my accident.
Hmm.
So if I had just stopped it at the beginning with the first problem by just talking about it and working it out, it wouldn't have led to me being an alcoholic and then to getting in an accident and, all these injuries and stuff I had. So um, my thing would be to just nip it in the bud in the beginning and talk about it and hopefully feel better
Hmm.
about it.
Hmm. Well, I think people in general, whether it be alcohol, whether it be some other substance or whatever, I think when things don't feel well, we do try to cope with other things, not realizing
Mhm.
that, like you said, just add it to the list of the things now. And now we got this other thing to add. So, but
Right.
I think that's been normalized society wise as a coping mechanism.
Yep, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So, yeah, so we will not do too many spoilers, but once again, definitely a great book.
Mhm.
And I
Right.
like that you
Yeah,
asked the
I
question.
realized that I had to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, so but the questions that you ask after every chapter, are good as well, because once again, just to get people to think, and then that you offer the space for people to reach out and everything else as well. So, can you think of someone or something that over a short period of time has influenced you or had, a major impact in your life?
Um, can I bend this one a little bit? Because I want to say my wife and kids,
You
not
can
not
bend
the
it.
movie. I mean, not the show, but
What you say? You
my
for
wife.
real? Yours?
Yeah, my wife and kids. My wife and kids. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, they always had my back and supported me. So
Hmm.
to answer that question, they have influenced me and they have a big impact on my life. Without them, I don't know where I would be for real, for real.
Uh-huh.
Um, so yeah,
Nice.
and you too, Miss Penny. I know I already said it earlier, but when you know, in 2015, when we lost our son, well, when he transitioned, you
Hmm.
were there, and I was crying on the inside. I didn't know how to cry outside yet.
Right.
So you taught me to just release it and, let my feelings show.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that also.
Yeah, I think once again, like I think society just kind of acts like, first of all, that there's a time frame for people, and also that like you should be, like, oh, you gotta be okay, and it's like, are you, like, for lack of a better term, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what you mean? Like that it's pressed that you just kind of
And I'm just
move
not
on,
here.
huh? I think you froze for a second.
You, yeah,
Did
I
I
couldn't
freeze?
hear you just now.
No, I said I think society has
Yeah,
this way. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I was just saying that I think society has a way of kind of pushing people kind of through grief. Like, you can only do it for so long, or it's supposed to look a certain way, and you're supposed to be okay, and and all of these other things, as opposed to let it be in like an honest thing that. And I always tell people, the more you love, the more intense the healing process is. So when you have the depth of like the love that you all have for your son, it's going to show up the way that it shows up sometimes, because of the connection, because of the love, because of the experience that you all had. Um, and so it's gonna look different, and you do get to let it out. Because I always say, tears are like farts, better out than in. So that's been my thing.
That's my first time hearing that one. Yeah, I like that one. That's true though.
Yeah, because it's like you allow yourself to, just kind of release. Because I think if it sits, it just causes so many other problems, and you end up kind of lashing out. You end up being angry. You sometimes,
Hmm.
like you said, pick up other things that, substances, or drinking, or whatever, and just in attempts to cope. So allowing yourself, as much as, and there is, like I said, as much as you love, please, it's going to be the same way, because your love never dies and energy never dies. So there's that as well. So but would that be a whole different
Right.
kind of conversation? Okay, so what are some of the qualities that you find important in your friendships and relationships?
Okay. I would say integrity, number
Hmm.
one, and number two, I would say they have to be goal oriented, like have something going for themselves.
Hmm.
Because I like to surround myself with people that are, trying to be somewhere, trying to go somewhere in life, and they have goals and things like that that they want to accomplish.
Hmm.
Because like I want to be a motivation to my friend. I want my friend to be a motivation to me. I want it to be reciprocated. So
Right.
I can't have or be involved with people that are, um, you know, I guess like slouches. I don't want
Hmm.
to use any bad words, but like just not
We're just
trying to
in a space
excel.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think,
So like minded.
like my, okay. I think too, there's this
Mm-hmm.
thing about when you become more focused, if you had a time frame that maybe you weren't, um, and we have energy is important. So, just with who you surround yourself with.
Right.
So, some people like to say you start acting brand new.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Without recognizing that that's kind of the goal, that you want to change, or you
Right.
want to continue to evolve. No one wants to be in the same place, the exact same place 20 years from now.
Right.
There's people who choose that, but I think the more that you live, the more you want to experience.
Hmm. Yeah, you kind of have to keep reinventing yourself. I mean, like,
Hmm.
because you can't stay like stagnant and in the
Hmm.
same place you were 5 years ago, like you said, 10 years ago or whatever. You
Hmm.
have to excel.
So what was the thing that kind of pushed you, or do you ever felt like, because in reading, I do know that you've kind of always been oriented to do, um, starting young, working and everything else. Um, did you ever find like friends that, maybe weren't on the same kind of focus? Did you?
Um, lately I haven't, but I
Oh,
guess I attract what I want. So I guess I wouldn't attract any friends like that.
okay, got you.
Um, but lately I haven't. But I have had some like years ago,
Hmm.
and needless to say, we no longer friends. But but yeah, that was a long time ago.
Okay. So, what would you say for people who have to make that kind of shift with their friendships? Like, because it's not usually easy, because maybe the people you may have known for a long time, but for any
Mhm,
young man that may be listening and knowing, like it's time for them to do something different, but their friends are trying to kind of keep them where they are. What would you
mhm.
recommend as a way to begin to shift things?
I would say to sit down and have that talk with that friend and let them know that where your mind is and where you headed, and like no disrespect, but if you're not heading in not the same direction, but you have a path brighter than the one that
Mhm.
you're on, then
Uh-huh.
we have to be friends from a distance.
Okay.
Um, I think that's a nice way to put it, without being disrespectful or anything.
Hmm. Well, I think that is. And I do like that you talked about addressing it. Like, so it's not like
Hmm.
you ghost anybody or do anything. You literally have a conversation and talk about, hey, this is where I'm at. These are some of the things that are important to me. This is the way that I'm going to be moving, and the expectation of those who I'm around. You can choose to not move, but then that may look like this. But if you do move, we good. So
Hmm. Right.
so that as well. So
Right.
that is good. Nice. Okay. So what would you tell your younger self about how to best prepare for the future?
I would say to prepare for some beatings, and
Okay.
I'm not saying like belt or nothing like that, but I'm saying like life will beat you up. Life
Hmm.
life like it just walk around with boxing gloves on all the time, but like just ready. But yeah, so I would just say to be prepared for that, and to learn how to get up and continue getting up, because that's when the good things start happening, when you continue to get up and keep going.
Hmm.
um yeah, like it's just determination.
Okay.
Determination.
And just to expect it as well. Just to expect that there'll be those times where things,
Mhm.
like you say, the boxing gloves are like they already set. They got extra tape, they got extra
Mhm. Everything.
everything. And to be resilient in that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Hmm.
so yeah, making sure that like you said, just get on back up, because and like you said, just to have the expectation, because I think sometimes people get discouraged when life, one of them like uppercuts hit.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's not expected, but you still have to know how to, I guess, get around it.
Hmm.
And that's what I've been learning throughout my years. But if I had known this at a younger age, I wouldn't have been so down about the things that have happened in the past. I
Hmm.
would have just, brush it off and get up and, keep moving forward.
Do you think that, because I was just thinking, it's like, I think we all may have at different points in times, um thinking it's an internal thing, like, oh, I'm getting punished for or something like that, like I did something or whatever, instead of like sometimes it just be rough. Like it's not always
Mhm.
personalized for you. It just means that, like you just may have this experience, but I also feel like they always say without the test, you don't have the testimony.
Right. Mm.
I think we may have a little bit of a
Yeah.
delay.
Yeah. Yeah, it is pausing a little bit.
Okay. All right. So,
Okay. You can still hear me, right?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
And what were you about to say? Because I think I kind of cut you off about time the delay part came in.
Um, well, I was trying to figure out what the last thing you said because you were breaking up, and I was trying to listen in on the last part.
No, I was saying that I think that sometimes we personalize things as opposed to just knowing that sometimes things in life just happen. Like we may think that it's because of us or something that we did. And not saying sometimes it ain't because of us, but I think when things
Mm.
you know, like kind of knock us down a little bit, that sometimes we think that, oh, just why me or this, that, and the other, instead of like just kind of like knowing that this is what's I think it's food for the course or what have you. I can't remember what the course is, but whatever, that this is kind of one of those things that happen to prepare you for whatever else is supposed to happen.
Yeah. Um, some things we cause on ourselves, and
Uh-huh.
some things it just happen. But either way, you still have to get over it. I mean, you can't dwell in it and sit down and, as Neva would say, unload there.
Mm,
But yeah, you just have to keep getting back up.
mm-hmm.
And if it's if like I said, you can prevent it. But that's what I was saying earlier. You could prevent it if you talk about it. Depending on what the thing is, if you talk about it or
Uh,
work through it, you can prevent yourself from getting to an even worse part of your life or another
mm.
accident or whatever from happening. But for the
And-
things that happen and you kind of don't have control over it, I mean, you don't have control over it, so you have to find a way to get through it.
uh-huh. So, would you be real big on asking for support? Because I know sometimes that's not usually a thing that a lot of men feel comfortable with doing.
To be honest, I'm still working on that. I'm because honestly, I don't like to be a burden to other people, and I
Uh-huh.
figure if I have the time to do it, I will do it. But
Uh-huh.
I'm learning to let other people handle things that I know that they can handle.
Uh-huh.
Like with I kind of had to learn it with business too. Like with the construction business, there are some things that I can do,
Uh-huh.
but even though I can do it, I have our guys go do it so that I can work on getting quotes or working on
Right.
other jobs or things like that. So
Uh,
there's gonna come time where you have to depend on some people
uh-huh.
for some things, whether it's family, friends, or if you own a business, your employees or um, business partners.
Uh-huh.
So
So I think what I'm hearing is also have supportive and trustworthy people around you
right, right,
to where you feel more at ease with doing that. And I think um dare I say, because I think I have this thing as well, is relinquishing some control at times.
mm,
So being able to, step in and let other people do stuff.
hmm yeah. It took me a while to learn that, but because I like to do everything myself. but I had to learn to let other people, do what they can and just step out the way sometimes.
Yeah. That's freed up a lot of time, I'm sure.
Right. It has. It
Uh-huh.
has.
Nice. So, what would you think people would be surprised to know about you?
Well, you said it earlier. I don't know if we were live when you said it, but you was like, me being
Uh-huh.
quiet and shy. So
Uh-huh.
I actually am not quiet and shy around everybody. Like people that know me, they know I clown and I cut up because I joke around a lot.
Uh-huh.
But to a lot of people, they might think I'm mean because I don't say too much to a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
So they might think I'm mean, I'm quiet, shy, all that stuff, which I
Uh-huh.
am to a certain extent. But
Uh-huh.
when you get to know me and be around me for some and vouch for that, every day they look at me crazy, like I got something going on
Uh,
because I joke around so much.
okay. It cut off for a hot second, so we missed a little bit of what you said.
Okay. I think the last part I said was the fact that my family look at me crazy sometimes because of how
Okay.
bad I cut up and how I'm
Uh-huh.
joking around and stuff like that.
Well, and I think that adds, I think laughter, as they say, is the best medicine. Are you getting, I'm not sure if you got me or whether it froze again.
Hmm. Yeah, it helps you get through the pain and through all those beatings coming from life
Uh-huh.
with the boxing gloves.
And the unlimited tape supply.
Right.
So what would you say motivates you?
My family. My
Okay.
family, they are my biggest motivation. It's the reason why I do what I do, and I just try to like put them on my back when I can and carry them and let them know I love them and
Uh-huh.
like they love me, so I just want to give that back to them and just keep going round and round, just support, love, and motivation.
Uh-huh. And we have Life of Marty Ramos said, yes, I would say laughter does help a lot. And Naima said yes.
She probably saying yes to the joking and crazy part that
Right.
they look at me crazy.
But that is a good thing. So is there anything that you feel that people tend to misunderstand about you?
Um, I would say I don't know if I'm wording this correctly, but I want to say my kindness. My kindness and my personality. I think some people think that just because I'm kind and I'm willing to give them the shirt off my back, that um, they take that for granted. Like they
Okay.
try to take advantage of it sometimes,
Uh-huh.
you know, just because they know that about me.
Okay.
Um, and I guess it's because I'm so laid back. But like my wife says, sometimes I have to, sit up. I'm laid
Uh-huh.
back, but she was saying sometimes you have to sit up. But, but yeah, so I've been kind of like setting those boundaries ever
Okay.
since then, like, yeah, I would do this,
Uh-huh.
but this may be the last time, or not, it's not going to be so often or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But
Oh,
I think that's the only thing, just the kindness being taken for granted.
uh-huh. And so how long did it take you, or is that something that you're still endeavoring to do as far as working on boundaries with people?
Oh, I no, I got it down pat now, man. I got it down pat now.
What'd you say? You ain't got no problem sitting up,
I got it down pat. No problems. None at all.
huh?
None at all.
Uh, So would you consider that have a longer process or something that like once you got, you just got, or was there a reason, that certain people have soft spots with you? I know sometimes that I think some people just end up having a soft spot for certain people and then like because you don't want
Yeah.
people to struggle or whatever, like all of the stuff. Um,
hmm
so I think you froze again. Yes, there you
Yeah,
go.
most of it was like with the software breaking.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking about what you probably said, and I'm answering based off that. But it is sometimes it is like a soft spot kind of thing, to where
Uh-huh.
like you kind of you kind of got to wean yourself off of saying yes all the time.
Okay. Let's see. I'm not sure what happened, but we're going to give it just a second. I hope you all are enjoying this conversation. We're going to see, just give it a minute and see if he jumps back in. Yes. Here we go. Okay.
Sorry, but I don't know what happened. I think it might be my connection.
Okay. Well, I know with the weather that we've been having down here, it's been a lot as well.
And see, you didn't have any of this problem when Neva was doing the podcast.
No, we
That's
didn't,
that's what
but
I
I
was
don't
talking
think we
about.
had.
That's what I was
What
talking
you
about earlier. Everything it went good with her.
But we also didn't have snow.
That's true.
Yeah, and you know
That's
how it
true.
is now. Now it's a whole different thing going on. So I'm not sure if everything is connecting well or what have you. Just because we getting into the time where everything is starting to freeze again, as far as
Mhm.
wiring and everything else. Because these temps been a little different um, these last
Mhm.
couple of days. So I think that might be some of it. Is just that whatever is going on outside is impacting us this way. So because I think that was like
Mhm.
why we had to reschedule anyway, is because you had some challenges the last time, electrical challenges or what have you.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, the power, the power went out, and honestly, I thought it was because of the weather, but it
uh,
was because someone hit a pole in my
oh
house, and
okay.
yeah, so because I thought that was weird too, because the power went off after the storm had already hit. So I was like, why
Yeah.
is it a
This
delayed
going up now.
reaction,
Yeah.
for the storm? But it
Yeah.
come to find out someone hit a pole down the road. And I was like, what's the chance of that happening what, like an hour and a half before we were supposed to start?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
But
know what happen,
But
and
we're here now.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Things happen, and you were so, willing to reschedule because we were trying to make it work. And then I was like, you was like, well, I could do this, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know, because I was like, well, we
Mhm.
can, but we can also
Yeah.
just because I like everything to flow with these, you know, um, and I kind of go off of
Mhm.
like, yeah, how everything was. But if you didn't have any lighting, that was going to be a challenge anyway.
Right.
What would you say that you are the most proud or grateful for?
My life.
Uh huh.
I'm grateful for the changes that I've made in my life and the problems I've overcame.
Uh huh.
Uh, I'm I'm just glad to be a better version of myself. Like
Right.
just developing myself into a new man and
Uh huh.
husband, father,
Uh huh.
business person. So
Nice.
I would say that.
All right. As they always say, everything is already in you. It's just really about having the right soil around you. Everything is already in the
Hmm.
acorn. The whole tree is already an acorn. So, allowing yourself to branch out, grow everything else, because everything was already there. So I think that's cool.
Hmm.
And so, what do you tend to do to overcome challenges?
I just take a step back. Just take a
Uh huh.
step back and reevaluate whatever the problem or the hurdle is and figure out a way to get past it or over it.
Okay.
Because 99% of the times, the problems that we're facing, either it's not that big of a deal. Well, I may not make it seem like it's a big of a deal, but either it's not that big of a deal or it's something that can be um, that we can get over if we sit down, take the time, and like just look at what the problem is and evaluate it and see what other options we have to get past it. So, um, yeah, it sounds simple, but
It's
that's
hard.
my answer. Just to take a step back and reevaluate.
So, do you feel like that you make any decisions emotionally, or do you take a step back so that you don't have emotions present when you make the decision? Or do you find that,
Nowadays,
yeah, go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say nowadays I do take a step back most of the time. I don't rush to make any decision because I feel like when you rush, that's when it's a bad decision most of the time for me. And I'm just speaking on myself.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I take a step back. But in my younger days, like I didn't care, so I'll make a decision right then and there, and that's what led to some of the problems that I've had. But yeah, just take a step back, reevaluate. That's my thing now. It wasn't always, but that's what I do now.
Yes. Okay. And we have Braylon Anderson said talk heavy. So um and I think that removing some of the emotion, I think it could go both ways. That sometimes you get like this feeling
Oh,
that
that's
maybe
Braylon.
uh-huh.
Oh, I just see what you.
Are you able to see the comments? Because I think I put it so you can see them as well.
Yes, I seen you were breaking up just now, and I just heard talk heavy, and then I had to look in the comment and see what you were saying. Why you said
Yes, I was just gonna piggyback with as far as like using emotions and sometimes not like making decision out of emotion like hastily or sometimes being
Mhm.
guided to make a decision. So those I think are two different energies, but they're both kind of emotion or whatever based. One definitely takes, the time to sit back, and the other one, I think sometimes you have to do those like when you just get a an inch of, or a feeling that like, okay, this is the right thing to do for that. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that there's a little bit of both depending, but I definitely know that when I made emotional decisions, they were just not ever that fantastic.
Yeah, it's usually not.
Yeah,
In my honest opinion, it's usually
yeah,
not.
yeah. So I think one is more emotion. I think the other one is more of a knowing. So maybe the other one, the knowing is not like an emotion. It's just like that feeling you get that when something is right, or it's the right and perfect time to do the thing, or like you feel like you've been guided a certain way. So maybe that's not as emotional, but just like a feeling of knowing around certain things as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah. So but yeah, them emotions, boy, they will give you a lot to talk about.
Mhm. Yep, they sure will.
So and I'm gonna put out, I don't know if anyone has any questions because we're kind of winding down. Um and having this last question about things that you want to promote and words of encouragement, and if anyone has anything to comment on as we're kind of winding everything down, this will be a time, just go ahead and post a comment. But what are the things that you would like to promote, and I also would like for you to leave words of encouragement.
Okay. So my book, The Man Cave: What Men Don't Talk About. I know I talked about it briefly. I can't talk now. Briefly earlier, um, but it's on Amazon and
Okay. Technical right now.
I also want to talk business in my construction business to anyone that's in Charlotte, North Carolina, or surrounding areas. Reach out to me on Facebook, TikTok, or the website at McMillianConstruction.com. And
Okay.
McMillan is spelled McMillian.
Okay, and I do have the link for your social media pages up at the top. And we just had a moment. I don't know if you noticed, but you kind of went out on our end. Um,
Okay.
Braylon said, "Keep up," and the good work, brother. So I'm not sure what those
I appreciate
comments.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's one of my guys right there. When I said earlier about being around positive people, that's one of the guys that I'm talking about. Like
Uh,
he's a real nice fella.
okay. Nice. So and the book, I did put the link in the comments when we first got started. So if anyone wants to check the book out, it is a very I have it here, did get a chance to read it. Very informative, easy, insightful. You ask some really good questions for people to ponder and kind of get grounded within themselves about how things impact them. So definitely, like I said, definitely a good read. If and yeah, good. Like I said, easy to read because sometimes people get a lot of words and it gets complex. But everything was so straight to the point, which
Mhm.
I appreciated. Like you were just
Mhm.
like very raw about certain things, and very open about your life and how just the different things you went through. And like I said, the hindsight insight was awesome as far as like how you just put everything together about, okay, this what was going on with me, this is how this impacted for various areas. So kudos, congratulations, awesome read,
Thank
great
you.
first book, Sir Author, you know.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate it.
yeah. And so closing out with any words of encouragement that you would like to leave people with.
Okay, I just want to say keep going and just keep going for anybody. And that's a simple phrase, but it can be used in whatever life part of life you're in right now. If you're struggling,
Uh-huh.
keep going. If you're successful and you think you got it all figured out, still keep going. So
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna just keep it simple and say that just keep going.
Okay. And it is true because it's like making sure that you still are moving forward. Because I think, we talked about that a little bit. You don't want to stay stagnant. You want to continue to move forward because there are, things that we all have. And,
Mhm.
I think callings on
Right.
our life for different things. And sometimes if you don't allow yourself, you'll get stuck. And sometimes you don't even know what God has for you. I'll just say that. Like
Right.
sometimes you are surprised for all of the other gifts and talents that show up. Because I don't know if you planned on, like, okay, I'm gonna be an author, this year, or I'm gonna do this, like how everything has
Mhm.
been just playing out for you.
Yeah. It just happened when it's supposed to. Some
Uh-huh.
things are not planned out,
Right.
and it just happens to fall in your lap,
Uh-huh.
which leads to other things. Because to be honest, I didn't like with the construction business. I didn't know I wanted to be in construction to begin with until
Uh-huh.
2018,
Uh-huh.
and I just grew a passion for it and start learning more about it. And
Oh,
now I own a business. So
right. I mean, and that's how I think some of the best things happen. It's like you just like, but you listen too.
hmm
You were able to be still enough to listen and to just go ahead and
yep,
try something. I don't know how different because you have the engineering background, correct?
right. hmm
So I don't know how different they are. Can you
Um,
explain a little bit?
well, engineering is such a broad space, but I started in mechanical engineering,
Uh-huh.
and I started in mechanical engineering and ended up. I don't even know how I got into construction, but construction was just it's engineering also, but it's
Right.
just a different type. It's just a different type because you can be a construction engineer, which
Uh-huh.
is basically an engineer that deals with construction and like buildings and things like that. So
Uh-huh.
I guess it kind of intertwine
Right.
and join, and I guess that's why I love it so much.
Okay. And so with engineering, did you always feel like you wanted to do that as well? Like when you were younger, was that just something that you were interested in as well? Well, I know, well, never mind. I ain't gonna even say what I know because I know it from the book. But yeah, so
So, are you talking about engineering?
yeah,
You saying engineering is what I know I wanted to do? Oh
I was
yeah,
just
engineering. Yes, I was at a young age when I realized I wanted to be an engineer,
okay.
and I choice based on like learning myself and knowing what I wanted. I know I love to design things and be creative
Uh,
and draw.
yeah,
So I combined those things together and found out that I wanted to be an engineer.
okay. And then when construction started, when you got the construction bug, what was the difference with that? What happened? Or how did that shift, would you say, from engineering to construction? Or because they're similar, it was kind of easy? Or when did you find like, oh, I want to do what I do differently in construction?
Well, construction started after I got in my car accident. I was basically just looking for a job, and
Uh-huh.
I was just trying to get some money at that point and get a job. And I got a job at this local construction company. It was a small company, um, and when I got the job, I stayed there for like a year, year and a half, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
okay, I kind of like this. Kind of like,
Okay.
looking at everything from this aspect, from the construction side, and
Uh-huh.
not just designing things, but actually being a part of like bidding processes and
Uh-huh.
um, estimating and like actually seeing the work, being done.
Yeah.
So I kind of stayed on that side ever since, and I got different jobs, to help me learn more about construction, and
Okay.
then I just excel from there,
Okay.
and then started a business in 2023.
All right. Well, congratulations. And we're going to continue
Thank you.
success. And I'm so excited for everything that's happening. Like I said, we're knowing that this is your birthday month still. so so celebrating that, knowing that this is your new year and new opportunities and just more of all of the good stuff is what I like to say.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on here too.
Yes, yes. I am grateful for you being on. So thank you. And we are, if there are not any questions, we're going to close it out. Any questions or any comments? And thank you all for joining us. I'm sure some people will catch it later because that's sometimes what tends to happen majority of the time. And yeah, we're going to sign out. So wishing everyone a good evening and we will talk to you all soon. And you have everything to get in touch with Kendric, McMillian Construction, and McMillian Enterprise as well, right? On one of the social media.
Well, McMilliam Enterprise that's a whole different thing. It's just the corporation that owns McMillian Construction and everything else that I got going on.
Okay, because he
So that's
is
just a
the
corporation.
okay
Yeah.
for all of the subsidiary type of businesses, correct?
Right.
All right, cool. We got the umbrella.
Right.
We got the umbrella name. Okay, so here we are.
Mhm.
And because you can do it, so can other people. So for everything that you have, from brand ambassador to author to husband, father, teacher, uh speaker, yeah, all of the things. Yeah, you need an enterprise for all of that.
Oh, you threw speaker in there. You see that in my future?
I mean, we're doing it right now, right?
Well, I guess so. I guess
Uh,
so.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm practicing now, I guess then.
All right. Yes. I mean, and there have been times that you have, because you all, for all of the things that you and Neva do too. I think you've had the opportunity of speaking and sharing and everything else. So yes, yes, I'm added that to your list, whether you put it on there or not.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Okay. And thank you, Braylon. It said peace and blessings to us both. Okay. All right. So we're signing out. You all have a good evening. Peace.
All right.